Yo, what is up? It's your boy, the toolist guy here. That cringes into forever, but it's fine. We're back, and I have made this tool list, but since one, I want clout and views, and two, I want to actually explain my reasoning for putting the units where I put them. Now, before I actually put these on the right tier, I would like to say that this tier list is for Eternals and leaderboards, not dungeons. However, most units can be used for dungeons. Like, I know Shanks is better for dungeons, but units like Sasuke, extremely good for dungeons. Rudy is extremely good for dungeons. So it doesn't really mean that these cannot be used for dungeons. It's just, yeah. Let's just get into it. I've been talking too long. So first of all, Madara, unevo Madara, sucks actual booty cheeks. He is so bad. He is so bad. There's nothing good about him. I don't want to keep on talking about him because it's just bad. And talking about bad, unevo Naruto is also bad. I don't know what they were smoking when they were making units. Especially the unevos. The evos, they made good. But the unevos, they're just not it. They're just not it. Sasuke, though, he is better, but I'd still put him around this area. Because he's just... it's Sasuke. He's usable for... I think he's a hybrid later on Evo, which could put him up a bit higher, but then again, he really isn't that good. So it depends on what you want to put him at. You could argue that he's yeah, I'm keeping him here because he just really doesn't deal enough group DPS. Now Gaara is a slow unit, and it's kind of between Lelouch. It's just Gaara and Lelouch, who is best? Gaara has a circulary and lower SPA, which means you can stack more slows, you can slow more. But the lineary that Lelouch has is just better, so yeah, I just say because of the cooldown that Gaara is better. But it's difficult. Now Madara, he applies a debuff, a 30% debuff to enemies, which makes them take 30% more damage. It's good, but it lasts for I think 4 seconds, and you want more than 4 seconds, especially for a debuff. I still think he's good and needed for leaderboards, but I don't know, his damage also just isn't good, which is unfortunate. And it's the same with Naruto. He is a buff unit, and he does 40% buff, which is good. It's extremely good. But, his damage, his group DPS, it really isn't the best. Rudius does have higher group DPS, easily, way above. Way above being 30% above. But the fact that he's slow, Rudius is just extremely good for DPS, and that's yeah. His slow is still good for leaderboards, so it's just it's hard to rank these slow units because who are you going to be using for leaderboards? Well, that's going to be Rudius. But if you're going to be playing Eternals and just chilling a bit, you're going to be using these two. So, take it with a grain of salt. Now Toji is extremely good, but he has a small range, small circle. I'm gonna put him up here, but in terms of group DPS, he's gonna be up here. But not considering group DPS, and yeah, just a small range, small circle. Mihawk just has more range compared to his DPS than Toji, if that makes sense. So yeah, Toji is still really good, and if you have him, I think he is meta for leaderboards. It's just difficult because of his small range. He can't hit airs. He does have a multi-hit function, meaning he can hit 3 times. Doesn't mean his damage increases, but if they plan on adding shield enemies later on, he's gonna be good. Like that, he is gonna be good, but right now, as it stands, he can easily get out of meta when shoot enemies comes into the game. And we have Sasuke. Now Sasuke, when he came out, was extremely bad, but all the leaderboard players were in a group, and like we easily figured out that something is wrong here, because he didn't have his black flames or his what is that called? His black thing. That sounds like inappropriate, actually. He didn't have the black flames, which made him not good at all. And we also thought he had free placement and extremely small circle. It was just, he, when we test him out, was awful, like extremely awful. We thought about putting him in awful units, but after actually trying him out, and also, no, what the fuck am I talking about? He got black flames, and just because of the black flames and the fact that he actually had 4 placement instead of 3, that put him on the second, actually no, highest group DPS in the game. But because of his small circle, small range, I almost want to put him lower, but you know, he can hit airs, so you want to put him above Gogeta. He has way higher than Rudius, and if you're going to be using Rudius, you're also going to be using his slow, meaning that his overall group DPS is going to be lower because you're going to be using one for slow. It's just common sense. So just Sasuke in the second highest DPS, like just second highest tier. Yeah, you get what I mean. He is good. He is very like dependent on everything being in one clump, but the fact that he can hit airs kind of makes up for it. I feel like he could use a slight circle buff, like he has a slightly bigger circle, but yeah, it really isn't that bad. And if you group your shit together properly and just use the correct, let me just remove this, just use the correct strats, then you know, he is good. He is good. He is really good. And that's about it. I don't want to change any placements around. I feel like all these placements are very fair. I did put Byakuya and Broly down, even though they should have been higher up. But the fact that I don't see them having a place in the leaderboards, you could arguably put Byakuya higher, but it's kinda iffy. And since Sasuke does hit air, Gogeta does hit air, if you need one more air, bring Byakuya. He has the top of great units. But if it wasn't for airs, then he just isn't usable. Sasuke is usable outside of like air meta. So this is fair. And yeah, I think that's about it. There's nothing more to say. This is the tier list. Like, subscribe, I guess, for more tier lists. And thank you for watching.